say that when I was younger. I would laugh at me, people laughing at me. You're not even playing in this year. Why are you talking about it? Why are you gonna make it?
Help push the game in a positive direction in the States or in the world.
When you get back into the youth game, it's about the business
in the
side.
game
It's about
of
retaining
football,
players.
wisdom's key. Listeners tuning in deep like the sea. From the pitch to the mic, we share our dreams. Voices echoing loud, hear the passion's themes. Passion and knowledge, that's our goal. Stories unfold, let's take control. From the field we rise, let the voices be heard. Every insight shared, every single word. Football's the game, but wisdom's the prize. Join the conversation, it's time to rise. Time to rise. Coaches drop knowledge, seasoned players shine. Directors with vision, sharing their line. From strategy to heart, it's all on display. Unfolding the journey, every pass, every play. Learn from the best, feel the drive. In this football world, become alive. From the field we rise, let the voices be heard. Every insight shared, every single word. Football's the game, but wisdom's the prize. Join the conversation, it's time to rise. From the field, we're breaking ground. Voices of football and knowledge we're found. From the field, we're breaking ground. Voices of football and knowledge we're found.
I can't tell you.
So it's how do you make that lesson fun for the crowd that you're
found it on my own was
Coaches drop knowledge, seasoned players shine. Directors with vision, sharing the line. From strategy to heart, it's all on display. Unfolding the journey, every pass, every play. Learn from the best, feel the drive. In this football world, we come alive. Learn from the best, feel the drive. In this football world, we come alive. From the field we rise.
Welcome to another episode of From the Field, Voices of Football. Today we have the privilege of hosting Andres Martinez, a professional soccer player hailing from Ecuador, who currently showcases talent in Romania. With a career rooted in the vibrant football culture of Ecuador, Andres has developed a passion for the beautiful game, working extensively within Ecuador's first division academies. His journey through the ranks of Ecuadorian football, including stints with several second division teams, has shaped him into a formidable player on and off the pitch. In addition to his professional career, Andres had a noteworthy college experience where he played an integral role for his team. Over 2 seasons, he became known for his clutch performances, including scoring game-winning goals and earning accolades such as a Fredonia State Male Athlete of the Week. Join us as we dive into Andres' story, exploring the rich experiences that have shaped his career, his insight into youth development, and his venture in the world of international football. Andres, thank you so much for joining me on this podcast.
Thank you, Laura, for the opportunity to be here and talk about me and my experience in football.
So, first question, we gotta go back to the beginning. Can you take us back to the journey of your childhood and how'd you get into those cherished moments of playing football?
Yeah, actually, it's a really funny story. When I was younger, I was the only child, so most time my parents were like working or doing something. So they were like, okay, he needs to interact with other people, with other guys, with other kids. So I tried every sport. I tried basketball. I tried karate. I tried BMX. I have tried like climbing. I have tried every single thing. But as you know, like in South America, like soccer is a huge thing. Like you can play everywhere, like in the parks, like you can play in the school, you can play. So I started with my high school and I was like playing and I'm really competitive. Like I'm so competitive that I remember having friends in academies and I was like, I want to be there. Like I want to play there. So my parents were like, okay, let's go to an academy. So they put me in academies and I started as a keeper. And
oh wow, okay.
Yeah, the funny part was I was so bored in goal that in games I just started taking the ball and just running at people. So the coaches were like, "No, you cannot be in goal anymore. Like you should not be in goal." So I started probably when I was like 5 years old in academies. Small sided, probably 77, 5v5, and it got to a point when I was like probably 10, 11, when a coach talked to me and he was like, "Hey, this is gonna start being small for you, so you should aim for bigger team." So I talked with my parents, and they were like, "Okay, let's go to an academy." And I went to a federation academy, kind of that you play like regional tournaments, and then you play like national and everything. But you keep winning, winning, winning. And then I think that was the moment when I had my first upsetting sports, because I was a great player in practices that I earned a starting spot. But as soon as like games hit, I just fall. I just could not play.
Okay.
So I started the season as a starter, and then when the season started going and going, I just started busy in the bench and everything, and I didn't enjoy it as much. So I changed the academy. I went. You will think about like, oh, if you're not playing one academy, you will try to go to a like lower level to gain confidence. No, I was
Mhm.
like, no, I want to go bigger. So
Oh, wow. Okay.
I went to the like professional team academy here in the city, and for somehow the coach trusts me, and he gave me a lot of playing time, and I started getting confidence and confidence and confidence, and I started like just playing a lot. I started playing a lot, and the coach was like really helpful. He teach me a lot of things. He's like, I want you to do this, and then I earned my. I think when my life changing sports were one time I got back to school, and my dad is like, "Hey, the team was going to U.S. to play the Miami Cup.
Oh,
They
okay.
were they were going there, but I was not in the team because I just joined the team. So they were planning this trip like years. So my dad is like, "Hey, I got a call. A kid is not able to go, and they want you to go."
Wow. Okay.
So it was like couple months prior to me, like to the trip. Like, okay, so what should I do? So I went there. I play against really good teams. I think that was my first international experience where I had to play against other people from other parts of the world, and we did really good. We went to the final and we lost some PKs, but I scored goals. I got like confidence and everything. And when I got back, the coaches were giving more playing time, like more, and then I had to go to a higher division, right? To a higher category, like a higher team. Like I was like
Mhm.
U14 probably, so I need to go to the U16, but I was still 15. So I went, and I had national team players, like youth national team players in that team in my position. So I
Wow.
was like, this is gonna be a huge experience. So I started playing. I played for a year. I didn't see a lot of playing time. I mean, I didn't expect a lot. So by the end of the year, I changed to another team so I could play because I love to play. I never like to be in the bench. Like I cannot. So I started playing a lot, and then I got my second opportunity to go and play in Peru. So we went to Peru. We were champions. We were actually champions. We play against academies from South America and everything. And I was like, okay, so it's my second experience. I score goals again, so I should keep doing this. So I went to a couple other tournaments. I keep playing as the years goes on, and then I had an opportunity to go back to Miami Cup for the second time.
Okay.
We didn't do great as a team, but I did decent as a player. So I was really sad. I was like, damn, we got the diploma of participating. I'm like, I don't want this. I don't like this. And they get us together, the team, and I was like, what's going on? And they're like, okay, four players can be selected, or three players have been selected to go to Spain with us.
Ah, okay.
The best players of each team were selected to go into Spain to like in a camp, like you play against different teams and everything. And my name was on the list.
It was or wasn't?
It was, so I was like, okay, this is. I think I will always remember that because I was like sad, and then the next moment I was like hugging my friend, like just oh my god. So I that was like probably summer, and then we were going in January or February, something like that. So I keep playing in the team that I was. Unfortunately, I got hurt a little bit. Like I got hurt my ankles, like so I was like playing, not playing the tournament, and then it got the time. So I was really nervous. I was like, oh my
Okay.
god. So I played probably 6 games, and I
Mhm.
scored 4 or 5 goals.
Wow.
And I had the opportunity to. We were playing against Atletico Madrid, and I scored against them. So it was like this a great experience. I learned a lot, and a couple teams were like, "Hey, do you want to stay?" and everything. But my parents were like, "You're too young." I was like 15.
Mhm.
So I went back home and I changed the team. I stopped playing for the academy because it was a lot of things going on. So I played for another team, and I got hurt like the second game,
Oh wow.
and I didn't play till the last game of the season, but I came back with a goal. I think the first game I scored 4 goals, and then I couldn't play more. I was in the top scorers of the country,
Yeah.
and then I just stopped because I was hurt. And then I played the last game. I scored again, and we were champion that year. We were like
Mhm.
champions that year, and then we played the national tournament. And because I was not on my 100% for the injuries, because I got a really bad ankle injury, and then I like dislocated my toe, was like a weird injury.
Okay.
So I stopped playing, and then I was like in the point where you're already going to high school, and like thinking what you're gonna do. And here in South America, if you don't play professional until 18, you won't make it. So my
Okay.
parents were like, "What you want to do?" And I was hurt. I was not enjoying playing, so I was like, "I'm gonna quit."
Mhm.
I decided to quit.
What age were you around this time that you were thinking about
I was
quitting?
probably 17.
Wow.
I was
Okay.
like early 17. I was like, "I'm gonna quit." I think I could stay in my house for 1 week. I stayed in my house for 1 week, and I was like, "I need to play." So
Okay.
I find another team. I was doing great. I was doing really good, and then I got called for a second division team. So the coaches didn't like me a lot, but the assistant coach was like, "You are good enough to play, so you should go to the team." So he recommended me another team, and we did really good. We did like 2 semifinals in the region and everything. And
Mhm.
I was you in this country you have to play 3 youth players each game, and they have to be saying like, I'm gonna put the example 2001, born in
Mhm.
2001. But that year, I was like 3 years younger that the age I was supposed to play, and I was still playing.
Okay.
So I was playing against like ex-professionals or professionals that were like 30 years old, 27, and I was like 17. I
Wow.
think the older guy in my team was like 12 years older than me.
12 years old? Or 12 years
Well,
older than you?
older than me, yeah. So
Oh,
I
wow.
learned
Okay, okay,
I
okay.
learned a lot. I learned a lot, and I like that. But we got eliminated, and then we stopped practicing. So I was like, what I'm gonna do? And by that time, I was like one time bored looking about like soccer, and I found that colleges pay you or basically give you a scholarship to play. I was like, I'm just gonna apply,
Okay.
just to see what happened.
Okay, okay.
And I got a call, hey, do you want to go when you graduate to college? I'm like, what is this? Like, what is U.S. college system? I didn't know. I got offers for like big schools that I didn't even pay attention because I didn't know about it.
Okay.
I was like, okay, so I was playing, and then I got to the first team the team that I played at the beginning of the academy. They
Mhm.
called me back for the U18 and the reserve professional team. So I was like practicing with them, playing with them, and then I already graduated from high school. Sorry, I graduated from high school, and I'm like, my parents were like, "What are you gonna do?" I remember that call. I remember that conversation. Like, I'm going to my house, and they opened the door. Okay, you're graduate. What are you gonna do?
Okay.
I'm like, I'm the first. I'm going to US. I didn't even think about it. I'm going to US. They're like, okay. So I was in this process and agency like getting me offers, getting me the process. I think right now I should have paid more attention to what I did,
Mhm.
like the English exams, like my video highlight, because I had a really bad highlight video when I was like younger, because like my mom recorded like just jumping around and everything.
Yeah.
So I think I would do things different, but I still got offers. So I got a big offer I had one offer from Clemson to go and as a walk on my first season, my first semester, and then I
Okay.
would get an offer from Clemson. I didn't know what was Clemson, and
Okay.
then I was like, oh, I don't want to be a walk on. I want to go like and play. So I got an offer for a D2 school of full ride that was Salem University, and I was going there. I was 100% going there, and I failed the English exam.
Because you couldn't speak English enough, or What do you mean there?
It was like for international people that you don't speak English, you need to do an exam called TOEFL.
Okay.
So it is a 4 hours exam of just English, hearing, speaking, like writing everything.
Wow.
And
4 hours.
my English was not that great. My English was like decent enough to maybe survive, but it
Okay.
was not like great. So I think I needed a score of 80, and I got like 70.
Wow. Okay.
So the school was like, "Hey, we cannot do anything for you. So sorry." I'm like, "Okay, what are my options?" I was talking with the agent. What are my options? They're like, "Do you know what JUCO?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "You could play 2 years, and then you go to a 4 year school, and then you could play." I'm like, "Sounds good." So I went to this school, and this school was really good. They have players from PSG, Real Madrid, PSV. They have ton of great players. So that was 2020. I was starting. I take out the spot from a PSV player, and COVID
Wow.
hit. COVID hits, and every was shut down. So I had a
Mm.
crazy experience with COVID. I got stuck in Miami for like 2 months. I was like not able to go home. It was like crazy. And then I get back the next year. I got COVID. I hurt my back, man. So even that we were national champions, I didn't enjoy as much.
Okay.
But that helped me a lot to get the offers on the full rides in Buffalo, New York. So I went there, and I settled in Buffalo, New York for like 3 years, and I played there 3 more seasons, 2 more seasons. I just love it. I mean, I love it. I was playing Suniacs. It's a really high competitive level. I was playing UPSL, and I just started getting level. And while every time that I went back home during the summer, I was playing second division teams, because the second division here, it lasts long between the summer of college. So like that works perfectly for me.
Okay.
So I was like playing a lot there. I was like playing, and then my last year it was like all or nothing. I was like, I'm gonna win or nothing. So I would start playing, and then I got a call one day. I wasn't in school. I got one call like, "Hey, do you want to play pro?" I'm like, "What do you mean? Do I want to play pro?" They're like, "I'm an agent, so I want to bring you home. I want to bring you to Ecuador and play pro." I was like this assigned, but then something happened. Something was off with this guy. So I'm like, "Should I do it?" I talked with my parents. I do it, and they're like, "Hey, wait a bit. Wait to see what happened." So I went back after the fall season. I went back home, and I'm like the week of Christmas. I'm changing my clothes. I'm just like doing something in my house, and I get a call. "Hey,
Mhm.
the coach is called Giuseppe Fincello. I'm like, Giuseppe Fincello, you are like this guy. You apply for this." I think I was applying to every single thing that I could. "You apply for this. I love your highlight video. Do you want to come to Romania? No, do you want to come to Costa Rica?" Because they were settled in Costa Rica. I'm
Okay.
like, "Hey, what's the thing?" And they're like, "We're a professional team. We can help you to set up in other professional teams, and we could help you out and grow out and develop you." I'm like, "Hey, sounds good, right?" Then I accept. 2 weeks later, I got, "Hey, we're moving to Europe. We bought a team in Europe, so we're going there."
Okay.
I'm like, "Where in Europe?" They're like, "Romania." I'm like, "Where is Romania first?" And I think it was like a 3 days flight to me going to Romania. I'm like, "Okay, I'm American. I guess I'm going." So I went to college. My last semester to graduate, I got a degree in sports management. So I went there. I was like preparing myself. I was like training really hard, everything, playing again UPSL. Then I went back home, and 2 weeks I was like playing with a second division team. 2 weeks before going to Romania, I injured my
Mhm.
knee.
Oh wow. Oh man.
I sprained my MCL. It was like just level one like a sprain, so it was like not terrible, but it was still really painful. So I'm like sitting on the couch. I'm like, "Am I going to be good enough to play professional in Europe?" I was like really scared, so I went to Europe. I still have a knee brace. It's so fun because my coach hated. I show up the first day of preseason with a knee brace,
Oh
and the
god.
coach look at me and like, "Who are you?" I'm like, I'm like, "I'm so sorry." I remember like I said, "It's just precaution." but I was still in pain. That week was painful. That week was I was like taking so many pills to like trying to play through.
Yeah.
And the second week, I got an offer to play for a 4th division team. I was like me and another guy, just we were like 35 players, and the two of us got an offer to play for a 4th division team
In Romania.
in Romania. So I
Okay.
went there, and the coach was because I play against the coach. He called me, so he looked at me, and the eyes was like, "Don't you dare to use the knee brace right now. Don't you dare, because I'm trying to sell you.
Yeah.
And if you use the knee brace, they are gonna say no. These guys just burn you." So I stopped using it, and that was like fun. I played fine. So I stopped using the knee brace like a couple weeks later. I stopped using the knee brace. I just started playing, getting more confident as the pain is gone. And I was playing, I think I played with 5 teams in Romania, 4th division teams. They offered me a few things. I played the Romanian Cup. That's a professional tournament. I scored, I think I played 15 minutes. I scored a free kick. It was funny because I have never shot a free kick in my life. I have never in my
You
entire
never
life.
you made a goal from the free kick?
Yeah, and that was my first try in
Wow.
an actual game. Because usually I'm the one that they left behind because I'm fast. So in case that we got a counter attack, I can just run through the ball and just try to get it back.
Okay.
So I was already going to the wall to at least be like an obstacle for the team when I got the foul, because I got the foul, and the coach from the Romania team was like, "No, Andres, you shoot." I'm like, I'm about to or either score a goal or just fail. So I just set up the ball. I mean, I have practiced free kicks. I love to practice just for fun.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, in my head, I'm like, think about it, visualize, because I do also study the sports psychology.
Okay.
So I was like doing it to myself. I'm like possibly talking to myself. I'm just like, you can do it. You can do it. You're gonna be great. You can do it.
Okay.
And I didn't even see the wall. I didn't see the keeper. I just remembered I saw the keeper put a player in the first in the front post. So I'm like, okay, so I have to shoot it wide. But then the keeper said, no, go to the wall to the guy. I'm like,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
And I shoot it, and I put it right there when the one guy was there. I didn't. I thought the video is like funny because I'm just standing right there. And it took me a second to realize I scored, and everybody was running at me. I'm like, oh my god, what am I doing? So it was a crazy experience. I think I got the offer to play the season, but things with visas, apartment situations, a lot of things were not working. So I had to go back home, and now I'm home. So that's basically my time in soccer. Of course, like I have a
Okay.
little bit more details, but that's a resume right there.
Okay. Back home it's in Ecuador, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So you're in Ecuador right now, right?
Yeah, I'm in Ecuador right now.
Okay, okay. So, well, I should tell your story, right? It kind of seems like you've been having a lot of up downs, right? Like a lot of bad times. How do you
Oh
stay
yeah.
motivated through those hard times that you face as a player?
Uh, I think I have probably been more in the bench than actual playing my entire youth academy, my youth development.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing I remember seeing a phrase that it was good players can just, I mean, be motivated when they're playing, they're winning everything.
Mm-hmm.
But like excellent players and players that made it through are the players that even if they're in the bench, if they are not motivated, is still doing the thing. So that was my thing. I never watched the immediate results. So I was like always thinking, hey, I want to be pro. No matter right now I'm not playing. And I think I have say that when I was younger, I would laugh at me, people laughing at me. You're not even playing in this year. Why are you talking about it? Why are you gonna make it pro?
Okay.
So I was like, I know. It was like something deep inside of me. And I like, I don't care what people said. I'm just gonna do it.
Okay.
So I just keep doing it and doing it. And also, I always think about the extra work.
Mm-hmm.
So I started going to the gym when I was like 13. I got personal coaches. I got a sports psychologist. I got nutritionists. I got everyone working. And I remember like one time, coach came to my house and he's like, can I tell you something? I was like, yeah. Like, I have never seen a guy that is that focused and that motivated and I still not play. So I'm like,
Okay.
I know, coach, but one day I'm gonna play, and it worked. I mean, at the end of the day, it worked. So I think that's the only thing I never quit.
So how do you get this passion for the game? Just like you mentioned, you've been hard times, many times you don't play, but it seems the way you talk about it, you're still passionate about the game. Where is that passion coming from? Or who instilled that passion for the game on you?
I think my grandpa. Um,
Okay.
as I said, my family is not
Mm-hmm.
is not really big into sports, but my grandpa loved soccer. So he take me to the stadium. I got bored, but he still take me. He went to my games. He even that I didn't play. I was like in the bench. He still went to my play game. And when I started winning, sometimes when I did something, when I was in the news for some reason, my name was mentioned or something. He was always the first one to be there.
On TV
So
or
uh, TV, I got sometimes like I played in TV. I got interviews on TV. So I got also
oh
like
wow.
in the newspapers, like also
Mm-hmm.
sometimes being mentioned or like my team mentioned. So he was always proud of that. Like, he was always like,
Okay.
"Hey, that's my grandson." So when
Okay.
he passed away, because he passed away, I was pretty young. I was like probably still 14, 15.
Wow. Okay.
I remember being like, "I'm gonna make it. I need
Okay.
it's for you, it's for me." So I think that's the most reason that I would never quit. So like I had a promise. I did a promise that I'm gonna make it. So I'm just gonna keep it. I'm just gonna stay with that.
So I guess it's gotta go back to the same question, right? Was that when your grandpa died? When at that moment you're like, I want to do this. It was more than a game for you at that point when he passed away.
I think when he did pass away, it was more like, okay, it is, this is the only thing that I need to do right now. It was more like, also, it was my way to escape to
Hmm.
everything. I was
Okay.
like, really, I remember the day that he passed away, I didn't even like, I just went to training.
Hmm.
And I play like never. I just start dribbling like five, six people. And the coach
Right.
was like,
Right.
what's going on with you? Like, so I realized that I could use that feeling of, hey, he's not here with me anymore as a motivation to be. So every time that I score a goal, that I do something great, I always do the same thing. I have like so many videos of like pictures, like I always like look at the sky and just like do like kind of this, and then just it got so deep in myself right now that it's like I still have that promise with him that hey, I'm gonna make it.
Okay. Yeah. No. And sorry about your
Nah, I
grandpa.
mean, yeah.
Had you not been doing soccer, I know you got a sports psychology and sports management. Is that what you would be doing if you're not be a soccer player, or what would you be doing?
I will actually would love to be an agent.
Agent.
Yeah, since I got to US, I got the opportunity to place players in US college system,
Hmm.
and also now working with players to bring them to Australia or to give them the opportunity to go to Europe to trial. So I'm
Okay.
talking with teams, and I love just that feeling, like meeting new people and being
Okay.
like, hey, like I know, like, because now the coaches from Romania, they're like, hey, what do you want to do? I'm like, I think I'm going to be an agent. So like, hey, my team is always open. If you have players, send it to me. So just that feeling of being able to connect with people from
Hmm.
around the world, just having connections like Australia, Spain, France, Germany, now Ecuador, just that part is what I love. It's just so fun to like just meet new people about soccer. And like, I think that's what I'm gonna do after I retire too. So we'll see.
Do a football agent.
Yeah,
Would you start in Ecuador or here, United States, or where would you? How would you get
I
that started?
I think I will prefer to bring people from US to Australia because Australia is a really good market, really
Okay.
good salaries. So I think I'm gonna try that first, and then to see if I can go more into Europe or maybe go to South America because South America is just a crazy world in sport in soccer. It's just crazy. It's so much things going on.
So you mentioned Romania, right? Playing style evolved as it to adapt to different football cultures and environments.
It was actually really hard to me because when I was in South America, I got it was a lot of like long balls. Maybe you have players that are really like good with their feet and dribble around, and like they're really fast.
In Romania.
So in Ecuador, but
Okay.
In Romania, just my eyes just were like open like this. It was like I remember my coach yelling at me because the weight of my pass, the pace of my pass was not good. You will think, okay, it's just give a pass, right? Like you
Mhm.
pass the ball to one. No, is you have to point where the player is going, what feet he should control it, the pace and the how strong you give the pass. And those details were like what I'm like, oh my God. Like I struggle a lot. And also I have been thought about like being a team player.
Okay.
My coach was like, hey, you're good enough to score dribbling 5 people. Take one guy on and shoot the ball. If you do that, you
Mhm.
will score like 50 goals each season. Because I never shoot. I give the pass or I would like give him an assist and everything. I'm like, and
Mhm.
what he said is true. Professional teams don't care about assists, don't care. If you score goals, they're gonna pay you.
Okay.
So I was like, okay. So he changed my mentality in that aspect. So I think technique wise, Europe is way more developed.
Mhm.
But in South America, we're more like creative. We're just like with the flow. We're just going with the flow, like dribbling how much we can and that things.
Okay. Even Romania, who is a country that's not very famous for having a lot of soccer players, are they still good technical wise?
Yeah, I mean, we play against teams that have played Europa League, have played Champions League qualifiers,
Hmm.
and those guys were good.
Okay.
They were. I think we played against a 17-year-old, a striker,
Hmm.
just scored like 4 goals, top bins, dribbling around us. We could not
Wow.
do anything. I remember I was getting the ball, and as soon as I got the ball, I got like 4 people surrounding me, like taking the ball off from me. I was like, that game was probably one of the most frustrating games I have in my life
Uh-huh.
because no matter what we did, those guys control us. Those guys were like, okay, you can dribble us, but we're gonna still control you. And I think we lost like 4-1, like 5-1.
Oh wow. Okay. So before you went to Romania, right? You went to college here in the United States. Many of the games you were coming off the bench, right? But you did score a lot of crucial goals. So how do you prepare mentally and physically to make an impact again, coming off the bench and making that impact for your team?
Okay, this last season was probably one of the best and worst seasons for me because I came back. The coach from this college, he knew me because I had a fracture on my bone
Wow.
in
Okay.
the summer, and I get back to preseason really not in shape, slow, in pain. So I was like, he actually changed me as a midfielder because I didn't run a lot.
Okay.
So when the spring hits and the summer hits, I just went crazy. Personal coaches, nutritionists, sports psychologists, I just went crazy. So I went back to preseason and nobody could do anything. The coaches were like calling me and like, hey, well, what is going on with you? Where this pace came from? I'm like, I just not in pain anymore. And they even called me out in front of everyone saying like, hey, one guy that improved the most of everybody is this guy. And I played 5 games as I started. They didn't take me out and everything. And then one game just, I don't think it was my fault, but we were playing a system where I was playing as a 10. Because I was playing as a winger, I was pretty good. I was scoring, I was giving assists. And they changed me to 10. And we had a tactic was called Gamble Caleb. Caleb
Okay.
was my number 9. And our goal was ping a ball to him. He will somehow even hit to his body, and I had to gamble where the ball was going to fall.
Okay.
I couldn't do it. And the coach took me out and never put me as a starter again.
Wow.
And I was really upset. I
Okay.
was so upset. And he even in that season he called me to the bench and he's like, "You are killing my game. You're killing my style of play because you just do so many things." I'm like, so that's why I say soccer gives you so many mixed feelings. One
Mhm.
game I dribble like 3 people, I cut inside and shoot, and the keeper save it. Next game or like 2 games later, it was like 5 minutes left in the game. in the first half. The winger was so tired, and they're like, "Okay, I'm just going." The first ball that I take, it was like from my side of the field, just running through everyone, dribble like three people, and shoot and goal. And the coach was like, "I will never say anything to you again. I will never complain anything that you do," because I was like, "I will never do anything." And I thought after that I was play more. Next game, same. 5 minutes left in the game. I got a first ball that I touched, boom, goal. I'm like, okay, next game I'm gonna start. No. I we were gonna be out of playoffs if we didn't win a game. We were tied. It was like minute 80, and the coach was like, "Okay, I'm just go and do something."
Mhm.
What do you want me to do? I mean, it's not I can do something like that. And somehow the left back, the right back made a mistake and gave a ball too low to the keeper, and I was like right behind. So I just decided to run through it, and it was lucky because when I hit the ball, it just bounced out of my feet, and it was like in front of me. I didn't even know where the ball was, and it was in front of me. I just scored, and that's what earned me the athlete of the week. And I'm
Okay.
like, I'm gonna be a star. I mean, it's no way. I never played
Yeah.
soccer, so I was still not in a good relation with the coach. So I went to the office at the end of the season. Hey, what do you think I need to improve to play? And he's like, I need to improve this, and this. I'm like, okay. So I went to Europe. And that's why I like the coach was like, I don't need you to do this. I just need you to what you're doing is what I need on
Yeah.
professional game. So I'm like, so I think that's just soccer. For some coach, you will be the best player. For some coach,
Mhm.
you would not play. So I was like, and I'm still have now. I have a good relation with the coach from the college, but last year I just wanted to quit. I think.
How would you prepare though for your mentally, knowing that you're
Mhm.
making the goals, you're the striker, you're making that goal coming in 5 minutes. How do you prepare yourself mentally though? Like, no matter what I'm gonna do, I'm only gonna get 5 minutes.
I think one friend told me, "Hey, if you got 1 minute, just go."
Okay.
So I was like, if I have 5 minutes, I'm gonna play those 5 minutes that were like my last minutes in my
Mhm.
life. And also, I had a sports psychologist guy that was working with me. So every time that we ended a game, he's like, "How you did? I scored a game in 5 minutes. Okay, next time do it in two.
Okay.
Next time." So he was just keep pushing me, just keep doing things, keep doing things. So I think it was like I need to prove that I can do things. So
Okay.
I think that was like my mental aspect. I was like, I just want to prove that I can do it.
So another thing is you mentioned you're a male athlete of the week, right, for your college.
Mhm.
Can you walk us through that moment that you were nominated as athlete of the week?
It was kind of funny because like, usually, I mean, you play the weekend, and then during the weekend, other teams played this, and so they decide who was the most crucial player or like athlete. And then if you play basketball or something, so I work at the gym. So I was at the gym with my friend, and she's like, "Congratulations!" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Look at it." I'm like, "Male athlete of the week." I'm like, "Okay." So I didn't know what to react, how to do it. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. Um, and then I went to class, and my teacher just hugged me because I had a teacher that was like so good with me. She was like the best. Like, I told you, you're gonna make it. So I'm like, thank you
Okay.
so much. So I think I didn't, and that was the craziest part. I had an exam on the next day. That was a Monday. I practiced, and
Mhm.
then next day I had an exam, so I didn't show up to practice. And then we had a game Thursday, so I went on, and the coach was like, "Thank you so much, Andres. You saved us, blah blah blah." I'm like, I think I will gonna play at least because I was playing 12, 13, 14 minutes each game. I'm
Okay.
gonna play at least 20, 25. No. So
Damn.
I was like, no matter what they do, it's not gonna change anything. So I'm just gonna keep doing my thing.
Okay. Was there did the coach just not like you, or what was going on with the coach?
I don't even know. I mean, it was not just me. It was everybody at the end of the day. Like everybody was like, even the athletic trainers, they were like, "Why are you not playing?"
Okay.
And when I said that I'm gonna play pro,
Hmm.
people were like, "How?" And then I went to Europe and just crushed it, and they were like, "Okay, so it's not your fault. It was not you. It was like other things going on." I think for U.S. soccer system, I didn't. It was not the greatest fit because I was not probably the guy that just runs 90 minutes.
Hmm.
I'm a guy that more like takes the ball, touch, create things. So US is not like that, or at least my team
Okay.
was not that. My team was long balls and press as much as you
Y-
can.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think probably that was one of the main reasons why I didn't play a lot. But I don't know. I learned a lot from that. I learned a lot from that experience. That if I quit that season, I would not be where I'm at right now.
Which was professional soccer, right?
Yeah,
After your college experience, you went to Romania, right?
yeah, and then I played the Romanian Cup. I played the professional tournament, and now I'm gonna trade with the first team, with a first division team. I'm gonna
Hmm.
practice with them. I'm gonna be with them. So I'm like, I basically went from not play in a D3 school, being sit in the bench, to going to train with a first division team, reserves or like team in less than a year.
Wow, that's impressive right there.
So I'm like, my life is just like sometimes I'm like sitting there and then I got a call. You want to go to like Asia? I'm like, wait, what? So I'm like, it is just like soccer is just crazy, and I love it. I love that part of like you don't know what's gonna happen.
Okay. Yeah, life could be like a game of soccer.
Yeah,
So going from college to professional, it's a whole different level. The mental, the mindset is different. The training is different. So what was the most challenging aspect of that transition for you? Going to college, D3 college to a professional training session and professional team.
I will say in college, at least in D3, their priority sometimes for the players is not being a professional. It's not being as good. They are playing. They want to play. They love to play, or maybe they got an offer.
Hmm.
But in a professional team, everybody wants what you have.
Right. Okay.
So even in practice, everybody's good. Everybody have something that made them stand out because that's why they're there. So in college, probably in practice, you could maybe like run around sometimes, make mistakes. In a professional practice, is no way. And if you do make a mistake, you have to fix it as fast as you can.
Okay.
Because I think in college was like sometimes you make one mistake, two mistakes, three mistakes, and you didn't change it because it was not a big deal.
Hmm.
But then in professional, you make a mistake, they expect you to fix it the next time. They
Wow.
expect
Okay.
you to change it because I remember I gave us like not a strong pass because you're like, hey Andrew, next time strong. I did another one, and he's like, did I told you to do a strong pass, right? I'm like, oh my god. So next time, just manage the ball against my teammate,
Yeah.
and they were like, and I remember like sitting because we had meetings one we one with the coach, and he's like, you listen, so that's a good thing. So I think that's an important part. Like in a professional aspect, everybody's good.
Hmm.
So you have to be better. It's just no other reason. You have to be better.
You just have to keep pushing yourself, I guess, fighting for that one spot, right? Is that how
Yeah,
it
and
works?
and every day is a competition. Even
Okay.
even when we played the games, like we used to play games that like ping balls, bring it out with the chest, and probably shoot it with left, right foot. Even
Hmm.
those games are 100% intensity.
Wow, really?
So it is just like I love it. I was like, because in college sometimes like you have teammates that are like just dragging around, didn't do it.
Hmm.
But in this, when I went to Romania, everybody wanted that so bad that they would not be like, they give you a bad pass, they were like, oh my God, I have to be better. So I'm like, I love this.
What about in Ecuador, the third division team? Is that the same thing as it is over there,
Mhm.
or it's a little bit less?
Uh, it is still, everybody still want it, but
Hmm.
some people it works, some people have two jobs, some people do this, and sometimes it is not great, but it's also competitive. But I have never seen something like in Europe.
Okay, it's all a different world, huh?
Because also we were like 35 players, and each team have four foreign spots. So from those
Okay.
35, you needed to be the best four. Like you needed to be.
Wow. Okay. So what was the most memorable moment you had over there in Romania?
Uh, my most memorable moment, I would say my last game,
Why is that?
because I was playing really good on the left side as a left winger, and they switched me because the other guy was not like he was like struggling, so they switched me to see how it goes. I started struggling too. I was not doing terrible, but I was trying, and I caused us a goal. I did a mistake, and then they scored a goal on us, and I thought the coach was gonna save me, and he went against us. He in the half, he was like, "Come on, guys!" He was like, he was harder than us. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm just frustrated. And then a lot of my teammates say, "You're playing good. Hey, head up." And the second half, I've just changed everything. I gave an assist. I got an opportunity to score a goal. I was like one of the most dangerous players. And as Cal was there watching the game, and when
Mhm.
they took me off at the probably minute 80, I'm walking off the field, and the coach looked at me. That's what I want from you. Your heart, like your work rate is here. You need to improve a lot of things, but your work rate is here. So I got home and I'm like satisfied. I'm like, I'm changing the things that the coach is telling me to do. And I got a call, hey, you got a game tomorrow with the team that was scouting us. They want you. So I'm like, that was the most satisfying moment because I was having a bad game, but I was
Mhm.
good enough to fix it and have something positive out of it. So I think that was like most satisfying moment that I had in Romania.
Okay. What about the least memorable moment?
Is this game against this team that they were like just so much, they were like really like above us. I mean, I think four times I got the ball, dribble one, dribble two, and the third guy just got the ball out from me. They were just like, we couldn't do anything.
Mhm.
And I was just looking on my teammates, and we were like, what are we gonna do? I think we
Okay.
got to goal twice.
Wow.
So as a winger, you are so frustrated when you're like, I think I defended more than I actually attacked. So I'm like, that game, I went to the box. I'm like, man, I got destroyed. I got destroyed. So I think that was the most hard moment that I had because I couldn't sleep. I'm like, am I good enough for this? I think that's a lot of things with players. When you have a good performance, when you have a good game, you're like, I'm the best. I can do everything.
Right. Yeah,
But
yeah.
when you have a bad game, you're like, am I good enough? So I always try to like take those thoughts out of my mind. But that
Mhm.
game was just different. I could not do it. I'm usually like, hey, no matter it's one game, you have another one. But after that game, I'm like, man, I don't know.
Was that the closest you've been to try just giving up on the game?
I don't think about giving up, but I was like, that's the standard. If
Mhm.
I want to be one of the best players, that's the standard. So
Okay.
how far I am from that standard. And that game, I was like, I check reality about like, if I want to be the best player, I want to have those opportunities. I
Mhm.
have to be better than those guys.
Okay.
So I think that was like the most moment that I would like, because I was winning, I was scoring every game, I was like doing great, and that game just boom.
Just brought you down.
So I'm like, no matter how good I do it, I still have a lot to improve.
Okay. So it kind of sounds like you have the mentality like I gotta get better. I gotta get better. Don't give up, you know?
I think I never have seen myself as I'm good enough to stop working hard.
Okay.
For me, is no matter how is my situation, if I'm doing good, if I'm doing bad, if I'm doing like normal, I
Mhm.
always think is some room to improve. I
Okay.
always think, okay, if I score 5 goals today, is the next day I'm gonna do the same routine if I didn't score one, or if I lost the game. I'm just keeping those things. I'm like, hey, I gotta be better. I gotta work. Even when I'm in training, if I have a bad training, I'm like, oh my god, why? What am I doing this? What am I like letting myself down with one change? So the next training, I'm like, hey, you know what you did wrong, so just fix it.
Okay. Do you think that has to do a lot with the fact that you were in the bench a lot of the times? That you're like, am I good enough? Am I not as good as I could be?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of I was never handed anything.
You never what?
I was never like I had a lot of my teammates that they were just really good. I had one
Okay.
player that he made his professional debut at 16. He went to
Okay.
the U20s youth national team. It was like he was a great player. But the coaches just he could do everything. He could just walk in practice,
Hmm.
and the coaches will still do everything for him. And I think when I was younger, I was jealous of that. So I was like, I wanted that. So I think it was always like no any coach have been like, hey, you can do whatever you want, I will still play you.
Hmm.
Every coach was like, hey, you're good, but you have to keep working, you have to keep proving yourself. So I'm like, I have never feel like, okay, this team will I could miss a goal and I will not be in the bench. So that's
Yeah.
things on my mind. So I'm like, I just have to be keep working, keep working, keep working. So right now I keep it more healthy because when I was younger, it just like destroyed me a lot of times. Now I try
Okay.
to be like more calm, not as harsh against myself sometimes because I used to be really, really critical with myself. So now I'm trying to be more like, hey, you know what you did wrong. You know you can fix it. You know you have the ability to fix it. Just fix it next time.
How did that change come about?
Because I stopped enjoying the game. I think
You
every
stopped enjoying the
time,
you stopped enjoying the game,
yeah,
or you enjoy the game more?
I stopped enjoying the game when I was like every time pushing myself. Like just if I score one goal, I wanted to score two.
Okay,
If I
okay, now I
scored
understand.
three, I wanted to score. So I'm like, I love soccer. I love soccer. I love playing. I love everything. But I'm feeling more. I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling like stressed. I'm feeling like weird every time that I go.
Yeah.
So I say I have to change something. So I start being like so critic. I start being like, and I learn a lot of techniques that help me a lot with that. So I'm like, if I make a mistake in the game, I know I'm gonna have another opportunity.
Right.
Because it was so bad to one point that every time I make a mistake, I just look at the bench to be like, hey, I'm gonna be sus. Like I'm gonna be
Oh wow. Okay.
changed. So
Subconsciously,
now
you
I was
subconsciously you
like,
were like
yeah.
you're like, oh, I'm gonna go to the bench now.
So I was not allowing myself to make any mistakes
Oh,
in the
okay.
games. And some games it worked. I never make a mistake, but other games I make one and just boom, my level just dropped.
Oh, okay.
So I stopped just being more, I would say like more emphatic with myself. I
Hmm.
was being more, hey, even professional, even like the top players in the world made mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, chill out, enjoy the game, and if you make a mistake, fix it. It is not the end of the world. It's not that you're not gonna play anymore in your life. So just enjoy it.
Do you feel like you enjoy the game a little bit more now that you're older?
Oh, absolutely. I think right now I'm more like every time I step the field, I'm like, I love this. Sometimes after a game that I'm destroyed, I'm just sitting in the field. I'm like, just looking at everything. I'm like, I love my life.
Yeah.
Like being able to play till 23 years old, 22 years, because I'm gonna turn 23 next month. I'm like, I'm living a dream.
Right, right.
Why I'm not enjoying this?
Right, right.
So I'm just like trying to do that and be present more. Try to not be as like, okay, I play one game. What's going next? Hey, I let myself enjoy a little bit. Uh, I love junk food sometimes after a game.
Okay.
So I'm like, I'm just going to get a burger right now. I'm just going to get a burger and then enjoy, and then next day just keep working hard again.
Okay. I don't know if you've seen that video where Andres Iniesta, whenever he was leaving Barcelona, like the last time he was there, he just walked around, kind of what you're saying, just live that moment, love that moment, And there's a picture where he's sitting down in the field, kind of what you're saying, just live that moment, enjoy that moment.
Yeah, I think think in soccer, you don't know what's gonna end, when it's gonna end. You don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know if a team was gonna want you anymore. You don't know. So I used to live so much in the future. I used to be like, okay, I play one game. I wanted to play. I was the at one point. I got to one level. I think it was like U14. I wanted to be in U16.
Okay.
So I'm like, why not enjoy what I'm doing? A lot of memories when I was younger. I think I have putting so much pressure on myself that I didn't enjoy it. But
Hmm.
now when I'm older, I'm like, I'm doing what I love. So why would be feel pressure? Why do I have to feel pressure about this? I'm
Right, right.
doing I'm doing the dream of every kid in the world.
Of course. Yeah, yeah,
Like
absolutely.
why I have to be like, oh man, I suck. I do this. So I'm like, I just have to enjoy it.
Yeah. No, no, I agree with you. You know, like you gotta enjoy the moment. Don't just think about the future, what's gonna happen next. You know,
Mhm.
take a moment, take a breather, see what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
What was the most surprising cultural what was the most surprising cultural or football related difference you've encountered in Romania?
If you're a foreign player, they expect you to be great.
Oh, really? Okay.
They have no patience with foreign players.
Wow, okay.
So if you do a mistake, it's gonna stand out more than if a Romanian player do a mistake.
Okay.
So you have to be ready to feel that pressure. You have to be ready to perform under that pressure.
How did that impact your game a little bit? Knowing that if you had a mistake, it might be or was it the same or
I will say at the beginning it did, but then
Mhm.
after I was like, I don't care. I was like,
Okay.
I don't care. I'm just gonna do my thing. Of course, I still hear what the coach's indication said, but I was like, okay, so if he wants me to give a pass, I'm gonna give a pass. But if I see the space, I'm just gonna take it.
Right, okay. They don't have a lot of creative players over there, do they? Like they do in South America, you mentioned before.
They do have some of them, but they most are really tactical and really strong.
They're what? Say it again? Sorry.
They're really they have a lot of tactic IQ and they are really strong. So they know where to be at when to be.
Okay.
So in South America, we just run around everywhere. A winger is gonna end as a number 9. So you have to also that was a thing. I have to learn to stay in my position
Okay.
because I used to be an inverted winger, so I used to get inside a lot, and the coach just ripped me apart. The coach was like, "I want you. Do you see the line?" He's like, "I want you here from there. I don't want you inside."
Okay.
So I need to learn that aspect to be stay in position where the coach want me to.
Was the coaching different in Ecuador, in South America?
Yeah,
Is it?
they let us run around. They let us like if you are creative, they're like, "Hey, dude, make something happen."
Okay. You get that freedom to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Because I had a guest last time. Uh, he was mentioning now that you mentioned same thing. He's from Venezuela, so he's like, when he was in the train sessions, that there was a lot of stuff missing. You know, like why he's doing it or why are we doing it this way?
Mm-hmm.
What can I do different? You know, so that's why I'm asking you. Like they just because I've never been over there. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they give you an explanation and they give you a reason for everything.
Hmm.
So
In
if they
in
want me to stay
in
in
Romania
Romania,
or in okay,
not in Romania, if they want me to stay what, it was because I created a space for the number 10.
okay,
If they want me to do a counter attack fast, it's because they were not set up. So even the way that I control the ball, it was important because it will cause an action. So it was a lot of things that I learned it that I should have already know. But because in other countries they didn't teach us, they were like, "Let us run. If you can shoot with your left, with your toe, with your pinky toe, it will work." But
yeah,
in Europe, it's like, no, you have to shoot with this part and this way. So I think that helped me a lot because I think I got one ball that was like going to my chest, and I don't know why. I just had to jump and control with my feet.
okay,
So the coach was like, "Why?" He's like, "Okay." okay, come here. If you control it this way, you are set up to goal. So why do you do this? So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So I think that's what I love about Romania. They teach me a lot of things in that aspect.
Okay. Um, do you think that's better for the kids in the term of development as a young player? Or do you think that freedom, like they do in South America, it's a lot better in that development?
I do. I actually did a coaching license in US because I was bored.
Here in the
So I
United
was
States?
in the United States, yeah.
Okay.
So I was seeing about like teaching methods and everything. And one thing that they said, and I love it, it was you should teach a kid not being like, okay, you have to dribble with this part of your foot. No, you have to let the think, like let the kid think, why are we doing it?
Mhm.
And if he find a way to do it better, let him do it. So I
Okay.
think there you develop them with the resources they need, but also you let him be creative enough to he took decisions. If you are a crazy player that can just shoot from
Mhm.
everywhere, you're not gonna say don't do it.
Yeah.
You just have to let him. Hey, probably if you go closer, it will be better, don't you think? And he'd be like, yeah, maybe what? But I think that's an important part about the development. You need to learn, develop. That you need the kid teach him how to develop her own creative think, how he will think about decision making. Because sometimes I got a lot of troubles in US because they were like, I want this way or no. So I'm
Okay.
like, because I remember one time a ball came and I control it with my outside of my foot.
Hmm.
And because why are you doing it? I'm like, because I see the ball, I feel it, and I just let it do it.
Yeah, yeah.
So of course it's not the most smart thing to do sometimes because maybe the position is not right and everything, but it worked.
Hmm.
So I think that's what you need to teach kids is you need to teach them the basics and then let them decide if you use it or not. So I don't think
Okay.
anybody teach Messi how to control a ball. I don't see they saying like you should do this, that, that. No, they just let that kid develop and also teach him a few things. But I think that's what for myself. That's how you should develop kids.
What do you think is the most important thing in development wise to develop the players?
I think it's two aspects. First is mental,
Okay.
because if you have an
A-
idea of how
As a
tough
young
is the
player,
game
the mental
as a
side?
young player, yeah,
Okay.
if you teach them the right things, this guy is gonna go everywhere. And also, I do think if you develop those guys in the basics, but almost getting to perfection in the basics, those guys are gonna be great players. Because I have seen players that are crazy, but they cannot control a ball.
Yeah.
I have seen players that they can do a bicycle kick, but they cannot give you a pass.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, if you develop those kids in the basics, pass, control, scanning, do those things, and then let them do free, like then just let them create other things, I think they will develop really well and they'll be really important players.
Okay. Do you think like pickup games, just pickup games or cascaritas? I don't know if you call them that in
Yeah,
Ecuador.
yeah, yeah.
Cascarita,
Kind of,
okay.
kind of. Yeah.
Do you think those are important? Same thing, back to the development. As a development for young players?
Absolutely. I used to don't play a lot of them because I was scared to get hurt.
Okay.
But then I start playing them, and I have so many clips of me just getting the ball to one side, dribbling five people, and then just shooting,
Okay.
or just like flicking the ball, doing nugments, doing like some crazy things. And I think it's two parts. First, your creativity and your like skills develop a lot in those games, but also if you are playing in a professional aspect, if you're developing, sometimes you
Mhm.
forget that it's a game.
Okay.
Sometimes I think you forget that even that yes, you might get paid, you might be great, it's still a game. So when you
Yeah.
do and you go and do those things, you do remember how fun it is just have a ball, run around, and scoring goals.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I
Yep.
think is that's also important.
Okay. you know, like you mentioned before, even here in the United States, where they're like, no, no, do it this way. You have to do it this way. Same thing in Romania. I want you to do it this way. Is that the reason why a lot of like creative players like Ronaldinho, Messi are not coming anymore? We're getting a lot less players of those.
I think now they are using, I would say, like a standard. So players are now crazy. They develop as crazy fast. They debut 16, 15, 18,
Hmm.
and they are just using the same model for every single player. So you have 20 great players,
Yeah,
but you don't have one different one. You
yeah.
don't have that Messi. You don't have that Neymar. You don't have those guys that are just different. So I think that's why soccer is losing, letting those guys be different, and they're just trying to be okay. You have to do this and this way.
Hmm.
So I haven't. I don't know. In this couple of last years, I haven't seen a player that is just different like that. Messi just could do everything he wanted, and I haven't seen a player that can do that anymore.
What would you change to try to get some of those players back again?
I don't know. I think now soccer it is seen as a more as a business than it used to be before.
Okay.
We see crazy numbers
Hmm.
in transfer fees and everything, in sponsors and everything, in deals. So I think now they expect you to perform no matter how, what. They just rush things. They just do crazy stuff. So for me, is let those guys develop as as how they used to be like before. Of course, increment the technology. Of course, change the things that you're having now, but don't try to make them like okay, you have to be fast, you have to be strong, you have to let them be what they could be.
Okay.
Like I see Bayern Munich, they have oh my god, those guys are crazy. Those guys are
Yeah.
physical crazy.
Yeah.
But you don't see a player. I think maybe Musiala that is a little bit different,
Hmm.
but you have one and 28 players. So I'm like, just let them do some other stuff too.
Yeah. No, completely agree with you again. I forgot my question. What I was gonna ask you again.
Yeah, good. Don't worry.
Oh, let me see if I can remember. Hold on, give me a quick second. I can't remember, but we'll just go over that one, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, with the World Cup being here in 2 years, do you see yourself coming to United States watching the World Cup?
I don't know. I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay. How do you think
Um,
Ecuador's gonna do in that World Cup? Do you think they're gonna make
we're.
qualify? Do
I think we're gonna make it pretty good.
you think they're gonna qualify?
Of 12 players, of 11 players in the field, 10 or 9 are playing in top leagues.
Hmm.
Chelsea, Italy, and Germany, Chelsea. I think we have like 4 or 5 players from the Premier League, so I think we're gonna be great. I
Okay.
don't think we might be. I don't know. Probably in these 2 years they developed really well, but I will see ourselves make it to the like probably finals, like finals games. I don't know if I final yet. I want to believe that, but I'm still like I know how. It's more like I don't think we will make it because of the business part of how Ecuador does things.
Okay.
But as a talent, I think we can do it.
Okay. So you think you have the talent to make it far, but the business side is gotta get in the way of it.
We just gotta understand that you got to change things.
Okay.
How to you develop the young players to
Okay.
be in the position and be like, hey, we're gonna win, or we're gonna be semifinals, or we're gonna be like in the quarterfinals or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, because Ecuador for like in the 90s, they had some really good players.
Yeah, I mean, right now we have the captain of Chelsea, Moisés Caicedo.
Hmm.
We have I think it's number 2 or 3 under 18 players in the world, Kendrick
Oh,
Páez.
okay.
We have top striker of we have one of the I think this guy Real Madrid wanted him. We have one guy that is started in PSG.
Okay.
We have another guy that is started in captain in Brighton. We have another guy that is playing in the championship. So it is like we have a lot of raw talent that we could be crazy if we do it good.
I personally like Hincapié from Bayer
That guy, yeah,
Leverkusen.
yeah.
He's really good. I like him. He's a really good defender.
And it is funny because I play against him.
Oh, did you really?
Because when we played academies, we play against like I think he's like 2 years. I think he's like 2 years or a year younger or older than me.
Okay.
So we face each other. Those guys, you cannot face those guys.
You know, it's a whole different world, isn't it? I
Oh
think.
my god, those guys were like already top of it. I think we play against them. We lost 14-1.
Wow. Okay. That was
So
just that much better.
also their team. Do you know Independiente del Valle?
Yeah, yeah.
They were in that academy.
Oh,
So that academy is the best in South America.
okay.
So it was like no way to compete against them.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because that guy he left early to Europe. He was
He
young
did
when he
left to
left.
Argentina first, and then he went to Europe.
Okay. Yeah, because I know what he I can't remember what he it was a whole generation for them, and I think they won something, and then he went over to Bayer
That
Leverkusen.
generation, yeah, that generation is a year older than me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that generation, they were like they were like third place in the World Cup, the U20 World Cup.
I think that's what it was.
The U20 or U23 World Cup. Yeah, they were like, we have the best player, like Gonzalo Plata. We
I
have the
don't know
best
who.
player. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that guy. He was the best player of the tournament of the World Cup. He went to Sporting Lisboa.
Hmm.
He went party crazy, and he's going to Flamengo. But
Oh man.
he just cut his career.
Do you think players going young to Europe it's a bad thing? Is bad for the development or is it okay?
I mean, the problem from us is Ecuador is a poor country, so
Hmm.
some players don't have anything, and they go and have everything from one day to another. So
Yeah.
they don't know how to deal with it. The teams, the schools, they don't teach you how to deal with that. They
Okay.
don't teach you how to be financially stable or smart sometimes.
Hmm.
So you see players signing contracts of millions and they buying stupid things.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they're like, hey, you should be, and also they just spending much money in parties and everything. So like, I think is more a cultural thing
Okay.
about that because you see players from Europe going all over the place, like Mbappe, like those guys were like young when they left,
Yeah.
and then they still made it. So I'm like, it is something more about cultural aspect that I think, and
Okay.
I have classes, about this in my school about like why do you think people from South America make it less how we say it they don't last as long as other people in professional leagues because they
Okay.
party, they do other crazy stuff, they get in troubles, they get something like. I think it's more a cultural thing.
Do you think it's like the whole Hispanic cultural? Because I know Mexico, they do that as well, you know?
I will say, yeah, because most of the countries are
Well,
not as developed as other like Europe countries. So I will say also the best players comes from sometimes from families that don't have resources because they play for
yeah.
because that's the only thing they can do. So I have seen Richarlison, I have seen like those guys. They have nothing. Ronaldo, he didn't have anything. So those guys are the best players, and they develop, and they got millions, and they are smart enough to keep it. But then we have the South Americans, then get a million and just go and spend a week in a party. So I'm like, the best example is Neymar. As much as he's one of the best players in the world, he just didn't do the right thing. So I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, no. For me, a good example is Adriano. He was one of the top
hmm
best players, and now
yeah.
he's I think living in like very bad neighborhoods, you know.
Yeah, in las favelas, yeah.
Yeah, favelas. What advice would you give somebody who's pursuing a career similar to yours, Andres?
Uh, I would say keep focused.
Mhm.
Don't forget why you're doing it. Um, try to. I mean, I would say like never think that is enough what you're doing. Never uh stop working hard, and one of the best advice I would say enjoy it.
Okay.
If you have the opportunity to play soccer for your life, enjoy it because we live a dream.
Yeah.
We do live a dream. So if you have that opportunity and you're lucky, don't take it for granted. So enjoy as much as you can every day in the field with your coaches, with your teammates, and just be grateful for the talent and for the opportunities that you have.
Right on. Yeah, it's I agree with you there again. What's next for you, Andres?
Uh, okay. Hopefully, I can keep focused myself right now in training with the first division team. Um, I have the opportunity to go to Australia now in January, so that might be my next move. And then I'm gonna try to help as much people, as much kids as they can right now, and
Mhm.
teaching them like aspects of sports, helping them. And if I'm able to give them opportunities, I would do that too. So
Okay.
I think that's how my life looks as right now.
Okay. Australia, you're going to Australia, right? Do they,
Yeah.
are they gonna pay for your fare, your hotel and everything, or do you have to pay for your own?
The contracts will be. I will probably get the offers by October, but what I was told from my agent, because I do have an agent right now, so
Mhm.
he was like, I will get housing, a salary, and probably the only thing that I will have to deal with is probably flights. But also, I can negotiate with the teams about being able to get the flights to there.
Oh, okay. Best of
But
luck to you, you know.
yeah, because I'm really excited because I have seen the players that are going. There
Yeah.
are players from Chelsea Academy, Brighton Academy, MLS academies. All those players are going there, so I'm gonna have a good competition there too. So I'm just
Oh,
excited to play against them
oh wow. So how do you know who's going over there?
because I was I learned how to use LinkedIn a lot. I think that's
Okay.
also a really good platform to you develop as your
It is,
career.
yo.
So I'm just seeing agencies, players, profiles, everything that they're posting, that they're seeing like, oh, I have these players signed up for this team in Australia and everything. I'm like, I can't wait to go and play against those guys.
Okay. Okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I started using LinkedIn. That's how I actually found
Yeah, I
your
know. I mean,
profile.
it is the best way to like connect with people too. It's a really good way.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree with you. As you look back on your journey, what legacy do you hope to leave for the community?
Actually, I think that I forget to mention. I'm adopted, so I I don't know what will be my life looking like. Looking if I didn't have the opportunity to, my parents adopted me when I was 8 months. Also, what I want to leave as a legacy is that no matter where you came from, no
Mhm.
matter what the life puts you in your front in your face or in front of you, if you are strong enough and if you're willing to do all the sacrifices that you need, you the only limit is the sky. You can do all your dreams come true if you have that passion, that desire, and especially that love for what you're doing. I think you can do everything. Because I came from a family that don't play sports. I
Mhm.
came, even when I was young, I didn't play a lot. I was never seen as a prospect to be a professional,
Okay.
and I had the opportunity to keep doing it. So I'm like, no matter where you came from, you do have an opportunity to be what you want to be.
It kind of seems like you had everything against you, but you still persevere, to make your dream come true.
Yeah, I think that's the word. If you persevere in this, because it's gonna be hard. It's
Hmm.
absolutely gonna be hard. But
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you do persevere, I pretty sure you will get a reward in some way, or you will get something because you're working hard, you're honest with your work, you're honest with the people around you. You will get something out of it. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah, no, completely agree once again. How can people know more about you, Andres?
They can follow my social media. I do post a lot of my journey there, on Instagram especially.
Okay.
Also, I do post about opportunities that I found for other players if in case I mean, probably I have a team looking for players. If they see it and they could just text me, and I will get them through the process.
Okay.
Also LinkedIn. I do have more professional a little bit more there.
Yeah, yeah.
With my profile, my goals, my stats, and everything. But I think those are the two main ones.
What's your Instagram handle?
It's Andres Sebastian 0110.
Okay. What about your LinkedIn?
I think it's just Andres Martinez.
Okay.
I
All
do
right.
not remember my handle there. I just do remember my name, but I think you can find it. It's a picture of me just standing right there.
It's a really cool picture. I don't know if you took it or professional took it, but it's a really nice picture.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is a nice picture. I think I use that picture for everything. Yeah.
Okay. So the next couple of questions I got for you are just like I said, silly questions. They have a little bit to do with soccer, but they're just silly, okay?
Yeah.
How would you adapt your game if the referee was a time traveling wizard?
Um, how would I adapt my game?
Hmm.
Actually, that's a good question. I mean, he already will know the outcome of the game, so I
Maybe.
probably will try just to, I don't know, try to do something opposite, like an own goal, something to change the
The
outcome
outcome of
that
it?
he will not expect. Yeah, he will not expect of it.
Okay. Is that how you adapt to it? Just try to be
Yeah, I
creative, a little
mean,
creative? Okay.
try to. I mean, I think I love the movies of time travel. Just do something to change everything.
Okay. If the because you're a striker, right? If the
Mhm.
goalpost kept moving, what would your strategy be for scoring?
Sorry, what?
If the goalposts were kept moving, they just keep moving. What would your strategy be for scoring?
Just shoot it every time. I just shoot
Just
everywhere.
shoot anywhere.
Because usually what I do is before the game, I do walk around, I see the area, and so I have an image of where the goal it is.
Okay.
So sometimes I don't even have to see the goal, I just shoot it, and I mean it's just how it works for me. So I would just not do it. I would just go, and if I have the ball, just keep shooting, and one ball have to go in.
Okay. What's your approach if the soccer ball could teleport randomly during the game?
I will be really frustrated first,
Okay.
and then I will try to predict if it's a pattern. If it's not, I would just start running around to see where the ball goes.
Okay. What's your plan if the soccer match suddenly turns into a musical?
Right now that you say that, the first thing that comes to my mind is High School Musical.
Okay.
So I would probably sing something and then just start running again.
Okay. What song would you sing?
I do have a favorite song that is "Apologize" from Timberland. I think that is how to say it.
Okay.
So I would just sing that song.
Oh, okay. That's an older song though.
It is, yeah, it is all the time. Yeah,
That's all the questions I got, Andres.
thanks so much.
Thank you so much for coming on here.
No, thank you, Laura, for the opportunity to share my journey. If this helps to anyone, or if they want to know more about it, or they want any advice, I'm like always willing to help. Thank you so much. I wish you the best with the podcast. It was really fun to be here. I really enjoy it. So I hope to see you soon again, and I hope to work with you too.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like I said, thank you so much for coming on here, for sharing your story with our audience. I know everybody's gonna enjoy something from it.
Okay, thank you so much. I will
Thank
see
you.
you next. Soon.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you everybody for coming on the podcast. Don't forget, the field's empty, but the conversations will be back.
Echoing loud, hear the passion's themes. Passion and knowledge,